Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Jane LeClaire, Chief Operating Officer at the National Cybersecurity Institute at Excelsior College here in Washington, D.C. And today I'm here with Christina Tanasichuk, who is the Executive Vice President of InfraGard National Capital Members Alliance. And while we're going to be talking a little bit about Data Privacy Day and what that means to us, which is held annually January 28th, correct?
Yes.
And I would like to just start out by asking Christina to tell us a little bit about herself and a little bit about InfraGard and your background and why it's important.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks.
for having me today. I am the Executive Vice President of the National Capital Region of InfraGard, and InfraGard is a public-private partnership with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and what InfraGard tries to do is protect the critical infrastructure identified by the President, and we work with private sector companies to increase the information exchange between the public and private sector. It's open to all security officers and anyone interested in cyber and critical infrastructure security. You can get more information on InfraGard at infragard.org.
Well, if you could, we'd like to start out by asking you what you think is the biggest threat, really, to people who are out there, individuals, in the data privacy area.
I think the biggest threat are the individuals themselves.
Okay.
And Data Privacy Day was really created to help people understand what privacy is, but also their individual responsibilities of what they need to do to secure their own digital infrastructure.
Okay, that being the case, do you believe that individuals really fully understand the threats that are out there to their own data privacy?
I don't. I think that they hear about them and they see that, Target was hacked,
Sure.
that they lost their data at Target if they shop between certain times. I think that everyone who has a credit card understands that they have some vulnerabilities, but I liken it to protecting your house. If you leave all your windows open, there are all kinds of things that can come in. Your phone, your iPad, many of the ways that we interconnect now are new windows that are open if you leave them open. So I think as you protect your house, you put up lights, you do things to deter criminals from breaking into your home, you need to do the same things with all your digital equipment and infrastructure.
I agree with you. Do you think the average individual out there understands what they need to do that?
I think they do. I think a lot of people do understand, but we opt for convenience rather than actually following all the lessons and information that's out there. I do it. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of saying, oh gosh, I really want to click on that link because I want to, and not that it isn't safe. As a matter of fact, my daughter the other night was saying, oh Mom, you're so paranoid about everything on the internet. And I said, well, it's not everything, but we have criminals that are literally setting up fake websites that look just like Costco or just like Walmart, and you think you're dealing with a legitimate site, but if you pay attention, you'll find there's a misspelling or something, and they're phishing for your data. So they are getting more aggressive. They're very, very sophisticated, and we all have to be sophisticated consumers and protectors of our own information.
So that being the case, what are some tips that you could give to people to help protect their personal privacy? I think that was one, to check that to make sure there's not a misspelling, for
example.
example.
And to really consider before you click on things that come to you, particularly unsolicited. But you are having new phishing campaigns where they are specific to you. They have mined data on LinkedIn, and they are tailoring their attempts to you in particular. So that's where you have to be even more careful, and that it's also about securing. I think a big tip is securing your own devices. So many people don't think about securing their phone, but they should have a security component on their telephone. So for example, my nonprofit, in our recent newsletter, we had an app of the month, and we recommended that people with Android phones use a particular security mechanism on their phone to help them with the spam and the phishing. So it's being aware, and it's also kind of understanding that the conversation about data privacy, it's time to take it up a level and to think about how much privacy you give away on your own. So I think a lot of people talk about Facebook and how you tell everybody where you're going on vacation, your kids' names, where they go to school. You give up pretty much all of your privacy, and the expectation that someone's protecting you is unrealistic. Like, you have to protect yourself and your own family and assets.
That kind of ties into the next thought I had is, what do you think is the minimum that people should do to protect their data privacy?
That's tough.
It is.
The minimum is to really be aware that the internet is a wonderful thing, but it can also be a tool for criminals to get into all kinds of your business. Even if it's using your computer to attack other computers.
Sure.
They're just very sophisticated people, not just in the US, across the world, stealing a tremendous amount of IP. I think that the government is lagging a little bit behind on how we're going to change our laws and regulate that and allow law enforcement to go after things. But you have the criminals and some of the other folks way ahead of people, and folks need to get educated and realize that it's a real threat. So maybe really the minimum is realizing that it is a real threat. It's not just kind of out there somewhere and someone else protects
Someone
me.
else's worry, not
Exactly. Well, the financial services industry they've done a tremendous job protecting people's credit card information, their banking information. They realize that that is their bread and butter. They must protect us. But you have to protect yourself as well. You know, report your stolen credit card or lost credit card immediately. Don't wait for those kinds of things. Be very careful where you hand out that information. Don't buy things on the metro on your phone. I've seen and heard people do that. Yeah. So, you know, people take for granted that everyone is honest and everyone is going to be okay with you giving your credit card on the metro, but, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. This is Jane LeClaire with the National Cybersecurity Institute at Excelsior College, and thanking Christina Tanasichuk today for visiting with us and talking to us about Data Privacy Day. Remember, January 28th, Data Privacy Day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.